Welcome back to the Bruin Insider Show. Nick Koop with Wayne Cook, and time now to catch up with the interim head coach of your Bruins, Tim Skipper. Coach, thanks so much for your time. Valiant effort in the second half last weekend, though you did come up a little bit short. When you went back and watched the film, what were some of your main takeaways?
Yeah, I just wish we started better. The first 30 minutes was a struggle, but once we got hot. We started playing ball. Defense got a second half shutout, and the offense started putting up some points and moving the rock, and special teams kind of was a factor too. So the whole emphasis is just going to be, hey, we have to start faster. We have to play better. We have to use our three weapons, eyes, feet, and hands, and just execute. I think the game came down to two areas. I think it came down to penalties. They had 2 for 20 yards, and we had 6 for 60. 40-yard difference, I think, was crucial. And then the red area, man, we were down there twice, and we had 2 field goals. And then they were there 4 times, 2 touchdowns, a field goal, and then we had the blocked field goal attempt. So that 17-6 difference there was a big part of it, too.
Coach, going from where you started at UCLA to being the interim head coach, I imagine there's a lot of learning, specifics about players and their talents and all the stuff that you've been going through. Are there players that have surprised you? Are there guys that you're like, okay, this guy needs to be on the field more, like well, this person needs more touches? Some of this from your observing practices and now being as involved as you are seeing some guys that you're like, okay, moving forward, these guys need to get more time?
Definitely. And I think before you even get to the talent, there's guys I have never had a conversation with.
Yeah.
So just getting to know them personally started it all. And then obviously every single day you're seeing guys that either show up in a positive way or a negative way, and you want to get as many guys in the positive way to touch the field. Somebody that played a lot that hasn't necessarily on defense was like Scott Taylor. He showed in practice, and we were like, hey, we're going to give him a shot. And he was out there and he was playing. Cole Cockshell, he had 2 snaps on defense because he's flashed, So just guys that flash, we try to get them out there. If you see guys that haven't played that much before and now they are, that means they flash in a positive way.
You bring up special teams, and that was a bright spot for you guys over the weekend, both with the field goal kicking, but fake punt, a blocked field goal. You got to like all of those things going your way, because as much as we talk about offense and defense, we can't forget about special teams as well.
Absolutely not. And we executed a fake punt, and I think it's been since 2020. It's either 2020 or 2018 since that's happened, where it's actually executed and worked. So that was good to see. And then they had tackle over on the field goal block, so it was even a longer edge. And, man, great jump, and we went and blocked that thing. So that was exciting to see at a crucial moment. I mean, we could not give up any more points. So those were 2 big plays. The punt was kind of, I was going to go for it, and I was like, you know what, let's just run the fake, get a little wrinkle to it. So it all worked out. It was really good. I think we would talk about the special teams a lot more, specifically those 2 plays, if we would have pulled the game out, because that would have been turning points.
Coach, the psychological part of this, I remember a ton of the players coming out of camp were like, man, this is going to be it, man. They were like all in, and then things do not go as planned. And I know as a player or as a coach, getting these guys to start believing, because I still walk away from that game scratching my head going, man, we could have had that one. Like that was a game that we could have had, because there's just too many little things that go wrong throughout the course of the game, whether it's a slow start or a penalty at the wrong time or whatever it is. So how much of that is tying into what you're doing, like getting these young men, who a lot of them, we know this, we talked about this last week, a lot of them, because they transfer so much, they always end up on winning teams. They always find a way to do that. And then now you've got to convince these guys that aren't winning, we can do this. We just got to work our tails off to get to a point where we can experience how great it feels to win a game.
Yeah, and I think it's all about your delivery. I think you have to deliver with energy and passion and a truthfulness to it. And I think the kids will buy into it. I've been the same guy every single day. I mean, I'm not changing. I believe in what we're doing. I think the guys are believing in it. I think going into the game, they had belief. Did they have full belief? And I think that second half, that kind of got us over the hump as far as the belief system goes. I think they're starting to believe. And you can see it by the way we played and the energy and the sideline, the excitement the guys had. And it was a tough pill to swallow to not pull it out. But we know why we didn't. We know the reason. So now we have to improve on those things, and we have to keep on getting better, always being on the rise and always bringing the energy and the passion, playing with the fundamentals. You can't take shortcuts. You're going to have to strain to get it done. All those things that we're preaching every single day, I think the guys are starting to believe it more and more.
In that same vein, given how wide your experience is as a coach, when it comes to the slow starts, how have you found success in transitioning guys, maybe guys that are a little slow out of the gate, and then them getting to a point where they are starting fast? What are some of the things in your experience that start to click?
I think how you structure your practice. You need to start your practice out with like some juice periods, some energy things. Your stretch can't be boring, can't just be static. You have to get the guys moving. You have to get them talking. You know, you have to have a little music, a little bounce, because that's how pregame is. And I think it'll simulate into the games when we get there. But I just, the energy and juice to start to finish has to be there. You can't have these long, drawn-out, boring practices. You can't have periods where we're just standing still. We're constantly moving. You know, there's transition from this drill to that drill. Within the drill, some of the drills are just running over bags, and we're all getting crazy and getting hyped and getting our blood pressure up higher. And just how you attack the day is all that matters. I mean, it's crucial. Everything has to start fast. Even the first meeting in the morning, we need to have some energy and passion there so we can start fast.
Coach, Nick, bear with me because I have two questions here. In the first one, you do not have to. Obviously, you're good. You can answer this any way you want. Did the
he really gets you on the edge of your seat when he says something like that, doesn't it?
No, I have to ask this because it drove me crazy. Did the volume of the speakers behind our bench push? Did it push sportsmanship, and did it push the rules? Because I was going crazy because it wasn't crowd noise that was the problem. It was music, and it was affecting communication. So to me, I mean, I thought it was like absolute poor sportsmanship to do that. And it was as loud as I've ever been. I mean, I had a headache at the end of the game because it was dumb.
It was definitely a factor. Talked to the officials about it. I think they actually turned it down a little bit, but it wasn't enough. And I know some of the teams that played there previously, they were complaining about it also. And it's what they're pumping in there. It's music and it's commercials and it's, you know what I mean? It's just hectic. It's just crazy. It affected me probably more than the kids. And as we were down there, if you were in the middle, like near the 50-yard line, it wasn't as loud as if you went towards the 30s and 20s.
You're right, and that's where I was. And I'm telling you, man, I was about ready to. It was insane. And I challenged the sportsmanship of it because you want to be loud, you bring in the crowd.
Exactly.
That was fake loud.
It was fake loud, and there wasn't even places for the crowd to sit back there. So I think it's all on purpose.
It's absolutely on purpose. Okay, I'm glad we got out of the way, and I appreciate you answering that because I feel the exact same way. As far as the question, now this isn't an easy question either, but one of the things that I'm struggling with, and I asked you a little bit about it after the game, and I loved your answer because you saw something with where Nico could run the football, and I thought you did that effectively, and it was one of the best parts of the offense. But I'm struggling with, and again, who am I? I'm an old, former player who talks on the radio, but the rotation at running back, and I know we got good guys there, and I feel like it's a talented group, but I also feel like none of those guys have had a chance at all to get into a rhythm this year. Mm-hmm. And as an athlete, and we're both that, I don't want to be taken out. I want to be in as much as possible and get a rhythm. Is that something you guys are looking into? Is that going to be one guy's got to separate himself to earn those carries? Like, how are we looking at that position?
Definitely. And we talked about that this morning, actually. And some of the times, because when you're calling RPOs, it's reading what the defense is giving you, and they're taking away the run, so we're throwing it more than what the actual we would hoping to give the ball off, But I agree with you, though. You want to get in there and get your rhythm. You get established in the game, get hit a little bit and all that, and you get stronger as the games go. Just something we're going to keep on working, trying to figure out, get the right magic for it. To be honest with you, I didn't pay attention to it until now, until I became in this position. So I'm studying it, too, and obviously looking at how it's been and all that stuff. But hopefully it gets better. I think it would be to keep the guys encouraged and keep them working and keeping them having faith, and just maybe we have to call some runs and just let them go.
Yeah.
What'd you make of your quarterback, Nico Iamaleava? Wayne alluded to it, a lot of runs for him and a lot of hits, but he pops right back up. And it's not just the hits in the running game either. He hangs in the pocket, and he'll take a shot to make sure that ball goes where it needs to. What do you think of QB1 over the weekend?
Yeah, my answer might be crazy, but I think he likes to get hit. It makes him feel more comfortable. He gets in the rhythm more. He feels a part of the game. I really do believe that. So he got better and better as the game went. He got a lot stronger. His reads were on point. We didn't turn the ball over. He was lowering the shoulder on guys. Like he was excited and ready to go run. I think we identified some areas where we knew the quarterback run game would be good, and he exploited that a little bit, and he saw it on film all week, so I think that excited him too. But each week's different. Big challenge coming up this week, and we're going to have to do things a little different. So hopefully we step up to the plate and we can have a good game.
Coach, I love that you transitioned for us in the nicest way possible. Like, let's start talking about what's next. I love that. Penn State's going to offer a whole bunch of different issues.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's been a struggle this year, we talk about Nico having to run the ball. I mean, like we see that because there hasn't been a ton of time for him to throw. We haven't been very consistent with throwing the ball. We've had penalties and things that have gotten in the way. And to be honest with you, sometimes the routes aren't being run right. The separation is not there. Like stuff that we all need to get better at. Penn State's way better in the trenches than Northwestern was. I mean, sorry, Northwestern, if I offended you, but it is what it is. I know it's a work, and you have to just keep working. You have to get better. What have you seen from the offensive line? Is it fundamental sometimes? Is it effort sometimes? Is it what do we need to do up front offensively to get better so that the run game and the passing game can be more effective?
Yeah, and it's all attention to details, Pre-snap penalties, we control that, so we need to control that from the jump. I mean, there's no excuse for that. And, sometimes you're going to get beat. Sometimes we have to help with protection. If we're going to have these deeper routes, we probably need to max it up a little bit. We need to keep guys in, not just chipping it out, but keep guys in. Little things we can do to help that out. Just help the push from the pocket just collapsing into Nico's laps a little bit, because that's what he's feeling that, as it's starting to come back into him. He might not get sacked, but he's feeling it.
Well, people don't, Coach. People don't. It's funny because I tell people that all the time. When you get the pocket, like I forget which game I was watching, but I'm sitting there watching. It might have been Alabama and Ty Simpson, or Dante Moore. And I'm sitting here watching him in a pocket. Well, when the middle of that pocket gets in your face, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So
you can't step up.
No, and then that's what you want the quarterback to do. So, absolutely.
Definitely, and we'll do things to try to help that. And we can move the pocket more too. So there's different things we're going to do. We're just experimenting with everything. I thought the protection was a lot better in this last game. Yeah. It was something to build from. So we'll keep it going. And, if we can get guys to not just rush straight and have to twist and do all those things, it opens up some running lanes that way too. So hopefully it just gets better and better.
He's UCLA football interim head coach Tim Skipper joining us on the Bruin Insider Show with Wayne Cook. I'm Nick Koop. They were talking about it. Penn State coming up on Saturday, 12:30 kick, 11 o'clock pregame here on 790 KABC. Let's go to the other side of the ball, Coach. Defensively, made some adjustments. Of course, Kevin Coyle coming in as well, helping with the defense, calling the defense in that game against Northwestern. What are you anticipating from that side of the ball going against this Penn State offense, what you guys need to do?
Yeah. It's going to be a lot bigger challenge as far as game planning because they're going to give us a lot of eye candy. I mean, there's shift in motion so many times pre-snap, and then you have to line up to the look you're going to get pre-snap, and then you have to line up to the look they're going to give you right before the snap. So we're going to have to do a lot of adjusting the formations. I'm excited for us because we have a full week to prepare. I mean, we have full Sunday, a whole full Monday, and now leading into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm excited for that point. But this is going to be a major challenge. They have weapons everywhere. Receiver rooms deep, running back rooms deep. The O-line does a great job. They have multiple tight ends they bring in that helps them to do all the shifts and motions, and the quarterback takes care of business. So we are going to have to be on point. We're going to have to be smart. It's going to be as much mental as it is physical. And we're going to, once that ball snap, we can't be worrying about what we see. We're going to have to trigger and go play. So it'll be a good challenge that I'm excited for our guys to be able to experience and attack.
Coach, our broadcasting partner up in the booth, another former QB, we tease him all the time because he talks about how he loves big butts when he watches football games. And we had some more big butts in the trenches. We had a 5-man front quite a bit. I mean, we looked like an old Okie, type defense at times. But it worked. When you got a few more big bodies in there on the defensive front, it really impacted what Northwestern could do. The question is, I assume we're going to see some more of that and you're going to do other things. How much of that had been practiced? Because it's tricky because, obviously you're doing something like, hey, let's do this. Mm-hmm. Did it kind of happen over the bye week to put that in? Yeah, so during the bye week, it was all of us putting our heads together and things we could do to help things out, and we've have packages, where we bring in a 5th D lineman. Whether we're in nickel or in base, it doesn't matter. We're just going to get beefier up front, or big butts, as you just put it. But we practiced it during the bye week, and then we continued it into the game week, and then we executed it. So it was about 2 weeks worth of stuff there. I think that package is always going to be part of us. We're going to carry it all the time, and we'll use it when we use it. But depending on the opponent, we're going to do whatever we feel necessary for us to play good defense. That's the bottom line. If we got to take all the DBs out and play 11 D linemen, we'll do it. But we'll do whatever we need to do in order for us to stop what they do best.
I'm curious, you brought up the eye candy, all the shifts and motions that Penn State likes to do, and how your read pre-snap might change in an instant as soon as that ball is snapped. Just take me into the mind of a linebacker or somebody that's playing head up and all that's going through it. How you try to diagnose, dissect that, and react in an instant, as you say. Yeah, and we have to do a good job of practicing it and giving them as many looks as we can. We'll increase the tempo at practice so they have to think faster. But once you get out there, if your eyes are not on your keys, you're going to get screwed. You're not going to execute what you need to execute. So at the end of the day, through all the eye candy, everything they're doing, just remember to put your eyes back to where the key is and let's go play. Don't let all that outside stuff take your eyes away from what you should see. So that the whole old thing, if you see a little, you see a lot, you see a lot, you see nothing. So we just need to see what we need to read and let's go play. Obviously, the two-headed monster, Allen and Singleton, the two running backs, it's amazing how Penn State has kept them both they're both happy. They're both getting fed. They're both pretty equal on their carries, and to be honest with you, they're both extremely, extremely talented. It was interesting because there were times, and I actually thought the corners did a pretty good job, where you're going to leave them out there on an island. You said it. We're got to stop the run. And we know that we got Drew Aller, who's got a bunch of stars next to his names. He's won a lot of football games. But like you said, you got to do what you got to do. I'm just curious, looking back, how you thought the corners did or all the guys covering, really. And then looking forward, might there be a little bit of that this week to try to slow down that run game? Yeah, we're going to have to be really creative in what we're doing, not to give away too much information. Right. But we're going to have to do what we have to do. I think the corners did a great job. Yeah. We lost number 17 a couple times, which was disappointing, and it mostly happened in the first half. All the stuff that's disappointing happened in the first half. Once we settled down, we got our eyes right, we identified the players we need to identify, we started recognizing splits to determine the routes we're going to get. It all slowed down for us, and then we obviously started fitting the run a lot better because they got ahead, so they tried to run the clock out, and we started to get stopped. So everything started clicking in the second half. It's just disappointing it didn't in the first. But I like the way we played in the second half, and that's kind of the memory I'm going to keep and just keep building from that. Yeah, 17 had just one catch after halftime, took him out of the game. That was nice to see. Yeah. Let's go to the other side of the ball then offensively, going against this Penn State defense. What are you anticipating out of the Nittany Lions that you guys are going to have to contend with on that side of the ball? Yeah, well-coached unit, man. Seriously. They game plan. Each game they play, they game plan and take away your favorite stuff, and it's obvious to see. What they're going to do, they're going to have their 4-down linemen, and they're really good.
And the luxury with having a really good 4-down, you don't have to blitz as much.
Yep.
So they're not a heavy blitz team, but that back end, everybody in the back, the 7 guys they throw out there, they're all disguising their looks, and they'll line up one way on the snap they move to whatever they're doing. So they'll give you 3 high safety looks with a nickel guy, and he'll roll down, and it could be man, it could be cover 3, or he'll roll down and the other 2 safeties split. So now we're getting the split safety looks, cover 4, cover 2, cover 6. So they do a great job, man. They really do. And we're going to have to be creative on that side of the ball. We're going to have to establish a run game, and we're going to have to block. And we've been talking about blocking up front this whole time. This is going to be a true test. This is a real D-line right here that can stop the run, and they can get pressure on the quarterback in the pass game. So it's going to be a challenge, and we got to step up to it.
So it made me think, you talk about we got to do what we got to do. So offensively, and again, you don't have to give anything away here, get more of those big bodies on the field. Like, something, maybe an extra tight end, maybe a guard that comes in, maybe a fullback, maybe multiple running back sets. Like, is there any of that possibly in our future? And again, you could plead the fifth on this one if you'd like to. I'll
say this, everything's on the table. Every single thing. So anything could happen. We're going to do what we think is best.
That's fine. I shouldn't have even asked that question, but I'm glad you answered it that way. Well, this one's real, though. So the last one was real, too. But this one, to me, when we're dealing with what we're dealing with, and let's be honest, outside of the program, there's a lot of noise, right? There's a lot of what I don't like to use the word negativity, but, like, there's a lot of it. And I tend to try to be a positive person. I can see that from you as well. I want every Bruin fan to show up at this game. When you have a game of this magnitude coming into the season, this is when you get excited about. Mm-hmm. It's at the Rose Bowl. You want that big crowd. You want to come in and have them support the players. I'm just curious what you would say to the fan base about the game, about, it's right in the middle of it. It's going to be a great day at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you say to the fans to come out and support the Bruins this week?
Yeah, it's a Saturday during football season in the Rose Bowl with a 12:30 kick. It doesn't get any better than that. So as far as the atmosphere and where you're at, you can't be any place better. Second thing I'll tell you, the football team is working. They're working their tails off. And work is a word that I like to use, but the bigger word I like to use is straining. We are straining to get better. We are draining our tank every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leading into that Saturday game. And we'll give you a good product to be proud of. We're going to fight. We're going to inch for every yard. We're going to do everything we need to do to get a good performance out there on the field and let that scoreboard take care of itself. So you can't beat it but to be in that Rose Bowl on Saturday.
Yes.
Well said, Coach. We will let you get back to all the straining you guys need to do to get ready for the game. Really appreciate your time sitting down with us as always, and go get them out there.
Thank you. Always good to talk with you guys.